everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're tuning in. Welcome back to No Gimmicks. I'm JT. That's my man's Brady. And we got our special guest, Chris Roach, coming in with some of the hottest opinions and hottest takes this side of the wrestling scene. This is an impromptu, if you will, get together because we're coming off a hot, and I mean a hot Raw after Mania. I'm just going to go ahead and do it now before I forget. If you're tuning in, you already found us on YouTube, but get on those socials, Facebook, Instagram, shut up, dog. Sorry. TikTok, look for the fancy logo, the spotlighted microphone. That's No Gimmicks on all socials. Gentlemen, what did we witness?
Dude, we witnessed the best Monday Night Raw after Mania in the last 10 fucking years. Easy. For one. And then two, I think that Monday Night Raw outdid WrestleMania as a whole. So if you missed Monday Night Raw, you missed a damn good show. Straight up. Like, I was seated the entire 3 hours. Like, got up maybe one time and I was back in my seat 20 seconds. So had my attention, dude. I just hope SmackDown is able to follow. That's gonna be a tough
because
one.
you fucks are gonna be there.
Hey man, 45 minutes down
It's
the road,
true.
can't help it. And I have Chris to thank 100% for that. So,
Proof that
man.
once again, Brady, you were the heel in every relationship.
Okay, yeah. Oh man. Hey man, one person you forgot to acknowledge. I know it's kind of blurry because of our background, but we do have Phil sitting over here on the side.
Phil!
And he does have a message for us today, and his message is, "What the fuck, Dwayne?"
What the fuck, Dwayne? Yeah, because you ain't The Rock. You're fucking Dwayne. You're DJ. I don't even know if I'm going to say your whole name.
Straight up. Fucking played us all, dude. Played us all like a fiddle. But regardless, we'll talk about that in a little while. Yeah, man, Monday Night Raw started off hot with John Cena. What did y'all think of his initial promo as champion?
Well, so before we dig into that, right,
Okay.
I appreciate the standard black, no fucking Tron, just John Cena. That's all it says. I appreciate that about the current character we have.
No, hands down. Whenever he came out like that in WrestleMania, I was like, dude, he's all in. Straight up.
Yeah, he's careful. He's going to jump companies like Edge. I mean, whatever his name is.
He said he was retiring from WWE. He never said anything else.
Careful, he's going to pull a Ric Flair. We're going to go to StarCast fucking 2098 and see John Cena crippling his ass down to the ring.
Shit. Yeah, so his last promo was something else, dude.
I thought it was good, man. I'm not saying he's by any means it's like the best heel promo I've ever seen at all, but like it's working for me, especially as the champ. He's saying it as I'm the champ, as in read between the lines, fuck all y'all, basically.
The last real champ.
Yeah, I'm digging it now. Now that he's got it, I'm digging it. And I'll be honest, I had a little bit of a misunderstanding what he was saying before, where he was like, I'm going to retire. I thought he was like trying to like insinuate that he was going to win it and then just be like, F y'all, I'm gone. But now I get that he's saying now, like, I win this belt, but I'm not giving it up. And I'm going to keep it through the last. I love the countdown thing. That was very cool and effective. So him saying, I'm going to, these dates, I don't even have to wrestle all of them, blah, 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 blah. Once they're up, I'm gone, and I'm still going to have this belt by then. So, again, I was kind of misunderstanding what he was saying before, but now that I get that a little better understanding, I'm all in on it. It looks great, and holy fuck, out of nowhere. That was fantastic. Is there anything better than the good out of nowhere?
So I guess three things then, right? Number one, I gave into the dirt sheet rumors a little bit, was kind of got my hopes up a little bit. I was ready for a new title. I was ready to see a new design. Now, again, not trying to jump the gun on this, but what I'm now concerned, and I'm going to put air quotes around the word concerned because this is the fan in me, not the breakdown podcast, that he's going to keep this belt all the way until he leaves and takes it with him. And then we're going to get the new belt design. Because, and I don't know how keen your eyes are, because mine aren't, but the internet pointed out the WWE Championship is retired.
The Universal.
Yeah.
So the Universal. So so that has a whole nother meaning to it in my mind.
Well, I mean, isn't the WWE Undisputed Championship just the WWE Championship, just with the undisputed title?
The only reason I think the word undisputed still in there is because fucking Paul Heyman. And whom I love, by the way.
They've sold it with merch, so it's got to stay there for now, basically. Which, hey, I mean, I think each of us have probably said before he won it, oh yeah, he's not going to keep it very long. He doesn't need to keep it very long. He's going to go back babyface. All of a sudden, I'm not so damn sure. Like exactly like you're saying, JT, I am not sure about that at all. And quite frankly, I wouldn't hate it if he did at this point. I mean, I don't see it actually. I don't know. I mean, I don't see it actually going down that way. But would it be that bad? I mean, it sure would. If they had to build something up to Mania next year,
that's the third point. Like you said, everyone loves a good out of nowhere, and I'm here to tell you right now, I'm all about when we talked about this, the closing chapter of John Cena and Randy Orton. The question comes back though. So we said, Randy Orton feud, CM Punk feud. It's like, who, if anyone, is going to be the one to dethrone him now? So
well, I mean, if he's playing these cards the way he did at WrestleMania all the way through, I mean, I don't see anybody that's going to be able to trump it. You know what I mean? That's pretty tough.
This might be a jump, right? Because Brady, you called me on the phone and like, hey, let's do this impromptu pod, and I'm like, let's send it. That countdown may have more than one meaning, because if a certain American Nightmare stays gone on hiatus and we come down to last appearance, and all of a sudden,
well, yeah, maybe. I don't know if he'd take that. I mean, if he's taking that long, I don't know. I don't know if he's taking that long off. We'll see, obviously. But
it's 26 dates, but it's apparently all the way through December. So
yeah,
I mean, that's still 2 appearances or so, 3 appearances or so a month, maybe 4. I don't get me mathing right now, but the thing is I don't see John Cena just being able to come out and cut promos like that every single appearance. Like something's going to have to give somewhere.
And as much as he wants to ruin wrestling and all this, it's still John Cena. He may come out on his 24th appearance to go and like, open challenge, bitches, let's ride.
Yeah. I mean, there's endless possibilities to this. I mean, really, there is. I really hope that they, like Chris said, I hope they capitalize on it, and then they don't just go to Backlash and put the title on Randy. Let's.
I don't see Randy winning it, but it's got me thinking. I didn't even I was a little just excited to see it, and then you kind of said oh wait, they've done this 20 million times. But I was reading the thing, and it was actually pretty interesting. They're like, how does this rivalry that we've seen a bunch of times look with Randy as the face though? And so I'm going to paraphrase a quote. It was like Randy trying to call out John about how dark is he? Is he really? How bad can he actually get? Because you want to see bad. I've been bad. Cody's not that guy to challenge how bad he can be, but Randy sure as hell is, and that brings a really interesting dynamic to it that I hadn't even considered. And so this is going to, even if it is till Backlash and they move on, I don't know. It's got potential to be fun because it's a different dynamic than the stuff we've seen a million times before.
Well, we as wrestling fans, and I'm calling all of us out, we're all fickle.
Yep.
Because and I saw someone say this earlier. They're like, so you're telling me the Cody Rhodes who took AJ Styles to the limit in an I Quit match, the Cody Rhodes that did these unspeakable things because Kevin Owens is a monster, wouldn't hit fucking John Cena at WrestleMania with a title belt? He literally hit Kevin Owens 3 months ago.
Hell, he probably, whatever is going on with Kevin, what Cody did to him probably didn't help, let's be honest. But,
well, I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, so that's, Bottom
then, okay,
line, I think we came out of Mania so upset that we didn't get DJ that this made us forget about it.
Yep.
So whether it was intentional to do that or not, that's what happened in my eyes. Right now, we were all clamoring for it, and then all of a sudden, us fickle fans as we are, and that's the motherfuckers. They do it to us every time. Had he not had DJ not gone on the Pat McAfee show, had we not seen the fucking headlines, we wouldn't even be mentioning his name right now.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
And even with it, I'm like, okay, whatever. He's not there. Cool. They got me interested regardless, so it's all.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Dude, what did I say, JT? What did I say, Chris? 6 months ago. We don't need the fucking Rock. We don't need the Rock. I said that. But the problem is they introduced him back at Elimination Chamber and just fucking ghosted the top. Like, and that's I
where they
didn't
went
care
wrong.
if the Rock ever showed back up or not. But hey, sorry. Moving on. Yeah.
No, I got one more thing. What? This is another meme thing I saw. Picture it, Backlash. Orton and Cena facing off. Cena goes over and smacks the shit out of the ref and gets disqualified. A la Orton in 2009.
Hey man,
but
that's the fucking main event.
But if that happens, like we said, Randy's nasty. Randy's just gonna beat the fuck out of him.
It'll continue them going on. Which, hey, at this point, like I said, I wouldn't hate that if they continued it. You know.
So speaking of beating the fuck out of somebody, the first match we had was Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and old Becky.
All right, so
he's so excited to talk about her. Jesus,
I loved it. The reason I'm okay, like you can ask Roach. Last year before, whenever she was big time Bex, dude, I was fucking pissed. I'm like, dude, I'm ready for her to be back. I want her to be the man. I want all this, that. But
I had to tell him so many times she was doing some of the best work of her career as big time Bex, in my opinion. But you know,
it was, and it was right. I mean, here's the thing: like whenever she came back at WrestleMania as a face and won the titles with Lyra, I'm like, okay, cool. She might actually just be Becky Lynch again. Who knows? And then she came back to Monday Night Raw, and I was fucking stoked whenever she turned around and started beating the shit out of Lyra. I was so excited for that. It made me want to pay attention to the IC championship and just see what happens. And that I think that was the goal. And we had been talking.
You guys called it. Straight up, you guys called it. So I didn't think it was happening the next damn night.
But the thing
is, but that's how it needed to happen. Like you didn't need to have Becky and Lyra as tag team champs. Like regardless of feelings to Liv and to Raquel, the fact is now like we've got Chris, like you had mentioned, we've got Dom and we've got Liv, and they're both champions, and they're just gonna be a fucking shit show, dude. It's gonna be fun to watch just to see what happens.
And that was a great way to keep the heat on Liv and Raquel.
100%. Yeah, it was. And now we have Becky back in a situation where she can elevate the division in a way that it's going to be prosperous later. Her on the tag team championship, that's okay. But with her having that mid-card ICE championship, and maybe she does like the open challenges or whatever she was doing before, dude, I think she's going to make that title mean something. So,
that's the idea.
There's some other stuff Bex could do, which goes into later on in the show, which we can get to that later, a possibility.
Yeah,
you guys know where
I already know where you're going. All three of us are wound up.
Yeah.
Let's just save that. It's obvious, but let's save it.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call this out right now. I said I was going to say, peek behind the curtain. Obviously, we don't just magically all appear on this call and then it starts recording. So we had a little bit of chat before we started. Here we go.
Hey, we can't kill the kayfabe.
Brady, you sitting down? Brady, you sitting down?
I'm set.
Roach, are you setting?
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with AEW fans. This was a 3-hour show with 3 fucking matches.
You know what though? That didn't bother me. That did not bother me
Hold on.
because
I look, fucking put it on your books, put it in the calendars. I'm tipping my hat to the fucking all-inners. Like, they spaced this show out phenomenally. But at the end of the day, my biggest drag, and we've gone over this, is a fucking 3-hour SmackDown. So I'm worried for you gentlemen. Well, no, and I'm not worried for you fucks because you're going to be there, and being there live hypes it. I'm going to be sitting on the couch and I'll be like, what is going on?
I think you will.
So SmackDown better come up, but I really do think that, and motherfuckers, both of y'all attacking the shit out of my boy, main event Jey Uso, for a 17-minute yeet session. I record. Brady, how long was it? Because I timed it.
Dude, it was for fucking ever. And
It was not for fucking ever, you crybaby
like, dude,
bitch.
this is fuck. I'm ready to get the fuck on. Like, let's roll this shit
anyway,
up. That was.
I didn't need Io Sky coming out there and talking as much as she did. I didn't need all of this other shit. Like, the whole, I understand, and so this kind of ties it back in. We're coming up on another talk session after the first match, and it was the New Day coming out there, and the Alpha Academy, and like, that was I give it to Alpha Academy. I understand like how they kind of played into that, but I could only listen to her try and talk about how awesome Alpha Academy was for about 2.5 seconds. That was my clue in. I literally went to the bathroom and I came back like and I sat down and I'm watching and I'm like playing on my phone because it's a commercial. And my wife goes, "Oh, by the way, Rusev's back." I'm like, "What? Rusev's back?" I like rewind that shit.
That's what you get, motherfucker. That's what you get, dude. That serves you right.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, this show had me seated to the point where I didn't know what was coming.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Now, for the rest of the night, I had Netflix on my phone when I was in the fucking bathroom.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Look,
I mean,
all of us have worked some sort of shitty job where we just can't get up and go to the bathroom when we want to. So you take advantage of that when you're at home, okay?
Yeah.
No, I get it.
But yeah,
like I said,
Rusev comes out and fucks up everyone. Mainly the
Dude,
Alpha.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. I really enjoyed his new theme. I thought it fit him really well. And if it was Death Rebel, good on him. He actually did something right.
Yeah. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah.
I know he had a lot of problems in AEW. I don't know. I mean, again, we said it the other week. When you hear neck, you get worried, you know. So I hope he's all good. If he's here and he's healthy and he's going to work, I'm fucking excited. He was great. You know, we'll see what they do with him. You know, I don't think they're going to like shoot him up to main card title or anything, but it's interesting. And I've always enjoyed him.
What was that guy? What was the dude's name that always introduced him? It's Rusev Day. What was that guy's name?
Aiden English or something like that.
Aiden English. Would that not just be the best shit for him to come back just to do his announcing?
Well, so that's what I was like.
It just depends. If he's the monster heel, that doesn't fit at all, you know.
Right.
So
yeah,
we just got to see what he's going to do.
Well,
he was great in AEW. His little Redeemer gimmick, you know, war against God because God, like, it was cool stuff. And he got hurt. It never really got to fully play out. But man, he can talk on his own. So we'll see what happens. But
so so Lana's not coming back?
She signed a deal with WWE.
Legends deal. So I don't think she's his on-screen manager.
They need to rename that fucking contract then.
Well, it's show up for appearances and get paid when we tell you to deal, basically.
Which, I mean,
sure.
Rusev and Lana are back together, so, you know, whatever. I'm glad that they're you know, gonna make it back. I really am excited to see what they do with him. Like, you know, he was always fun to watch, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. So back to what are we gonna do when we get? Because I think it's inevitable. Braun Breaker and Rusev. What are we gonna do What are we gonna do when we get
Big E style?
when we get Rusev and Jacob Fatu? You know,
See, those
like
are some damn good
big meaty
programs.
men slapping meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big E special. Yes.
It's exciting. And again, we still have SmackDown to go through. And who? Somebody's coming in. Who
There
do we
he
got here?
I think it's the Papa Gimmicks.
There he is.
All
Papa
right.
Gimmicks is here. But yeah, Papa Gimmicks, thanks for joining us. We just got through Rusev coming back. How'd you feel about that?
He can't talk.
He can't talk. He's just hanging out.
Yep. He's just gonna hang out and listen to us.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Glad he's here though. But yeah,
Absolutely.
what do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's awesome.
So after Rusev clears the ring, that's where we get Io coming out and with a interesting interruption, which leads to a match. What do we think about that?
I was stoked. I mentioned it last week. You already know, JT. I was stoked. That was when I said I was 20 minutes behind, and I was like, dude, Rusev, and Brady's like, just wait. He knew. I was like, oh man. They even threw out a Booker T mention when she did her move. I mean, and it was a fantastic match. It was a good match too.
How long before Steph is on the main roster?
Oh, dude, it's the thing about that is I think that she's capable of putting on great matches. I really do, but they need to let her cook a little longer. Just let her hang out at NXT, do her thing for a while, and then come when she's ready. I mean, we've already the main roster, the women, it's already getting to the point where it's saturated. So let's tap the brakes a little bit and let tap the brakes a little bit. Let the people work that are being put into place. And so
how can you say that when we have two workhorse titles on each show, the U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental Championship for the women, that are getting stale? And you're telling me that, like, come on, man. You telling me Steph can't come up and go to one of those shows and help that?
She's the NXT champ right now.
So she can drop that shit next week.
Nah.
I think when she drops it, we better keep our eye out. I think as long as she's got the belt, they're not gonna this was clearly a special appearance, and I mean, what Dusty finished, whatever they protected everyone involved. So I was wondering if they were gonna have her eat a pin or not, but they didn't. So as long as she's the champ, I don't think she's fully moving up. But once she does drop it eventually, whether it's in a week or in 6 months, I mean, I'd say it's a matter of time after that.
Well, and then thing with Roxanne Perez, like, she's just now getting over. Like, let these people get a little bit of time to get established before they keep introducing more and more. And like I said, let them work on these mid-card titles. Let them make them relevant, and then start bringing more women over from NXT. That's my opinion.
Hey, JT already said what they got to do to help with the mid-card scene, and by getting rid of the tag titles, we already agreed on that.
I said what I said, and I'm going to stand by it.
I'm going to keep saying it until it happens, because it's just the truth. They don't need the tag titles. The mid-card titles are more interesting to have, and that's the better play, in my opinion. So.
The tag team championships did their job. They brought Becky back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that does open the door to make it where Becky was the one to jump Bayley.
It's either her or it's going to be either they're going to do that or build that
Roxanne.
But we'll see.
But I guess
Roxanne versus Bayley, like, really, I wouldn't.
To finish that off, Rhea Ripley makes the save against for Io with Io, and then you could clearly read her lips. She wants to keep coming for that title. So hopefully that means Bianca's taking her ass back to SmackDown.
She wasn't there at all. So I think that's probably the case. She wasn't there at all. So, yeah.
And again, like, to me, the old school rules still apply. Like, I get it that typically you get a rematch clause and all that, but Bianca never held the title. Rhea did. That's how she got in, is kind of how that played out. So now Bianca, back of the line.
Dude, Shane O'Mac got rid of rematch clauses a long time ago. Get over it.
Yeah, he's also the greatest champion.
Well, Rhea had she had a rematch. She never won it. So I mean,
Well,
everyone's the average. Like she's not. I don't feel like she's in a. She is owed a shot at all. You know.
Well, so
Even
again, this makes too much sense to me for Bianca to take her happy ass back to SmackDown. And if they aren't going to do anything or finish out the Naomi and her thing, then she can start going after Chelsea, or just for that title in general. Maybe not right away, but.
Well, I mean, but you know, I know we haven't seen anything on SmackDown, but I mean, why wouldn't she want to go after like maybe Tiffany? So, because her and Charlotte's program,
back of the line.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
hopefully.
all they gotta do is a number one contenders gauntlet or 4-way or something. You know, they'll do whatever they want to do with it. You know, but yeah.
But again, I don't think she needs. She doesn't need to go for the main title again.
Yeah.
And again, so me and Brady talked about this a little bit. I don't know where the hell we're at on the brand split anymore, other than the champions belong to the shows. And even then, that's a little bit sketch because it's John Cena. Now, again, Mania is always that weird time. But again, if Bianca goes home to SmackDown, she will have to look at Charlotte, Tiffy, Chelsea, and all those others over there. And I think that, again, I don't know where Roxanne Perez fits in on this because she wasn't actually drafted, was she? I can't remember.
No.
She's been seen on Raw, and that's where Bayley is, and I still think that's the story they're going with. So I think she's gonna, whether they do a Adam Pearce, you know, welcome officially or whatever, you know, it's whatever, however they decide to do it, you know. I think she's on Raw though. So,
but again, they're in my mind, they don't need to do the draft again. But somehow, after this Friday, they need to make that split apparent again. Right? Like, sure, bring John Cena in for the retirement tour. It's not going to hurt to have a little cross-pollination. But at the same time, if you don't stick to what you're doing, you end up in this Bianca Belair situation. Well, she's on SmackDown. Well, she's got this feud going on. Well, potential feud with Naomi, but we're going to forget like that she was betrayed, this, and we're going to let her chase the title. Well, so now where does that put her? Maybe that's I think we're going to get Bianca versus Jade before it's over with. I still hope that Bianca was the mastermind behind Jade getting fucked up.
Hey, I said they could use a stronger heel for Tiffany, and
absolutely,
she can fit that for sure. So she definitely, I think she will help out the SmackDown scene, and I think she's going back. I mean, I think other than like your kind of like top stars like a John Cena or Cody or Punk or Roman, I think they're going to kind of, for the most part, keep the brand separate, you know, after this week, you know. I mean, it's Mania, lead up, you know, night after Mania, blah, blah, blah. But I think they'll kind of keep it, for the most part, separate.
Yep. Now for the highlight of the night, baby. My man's main event. Let me say that shit again. Main event. Jey Uso coming down. Holla at your boy.
I'm going to take
4 letters,
5
1 word. Yeet.
It was did you say you timed that eat session?
I did.
How long was
it? Brady's going to have to look because I'm screen recording. I think I got it from the time he started his entrance till he got to the ring and started talking. I think it came out to like, what was the time on it, Brady? I texted to you.
It's like 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
Yeah, not bad.
It felt longer, but it's
motherfucker,
okay, though.
That's how long everybody took to walk to the ring at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, you know, it took Stone Cold riding a 4-wheeler to get down there. Like, it's for fucking ever, dude.
Well, yeah, but if Undertaker still would have been here, we'd still be waiting on him to get to the ring.
Yeah. Legend says Undertaker is still walking down that ramp at 34. So, yeah.
But yeah, so
hey, let him have his moment. You know, he's earned it. Realistically, he earned the moment. So let him get that moment from the crowd.
Okay, so he got the fucking moment. Now, next week, we just don't need that again.
Brady, you're the heel in every relationship. So I just want to
get it.
point some things out. I'm just going to point some shit out. Cody made a prediction a long time ago, and I saw that. I wish I could have came up with this. Cody looked at Roman Reigns over a year ago and told him, he said, Jay left, Jimmy's going to leave, and the rest of the bloodline's going to, he said, then Solo's going to leave. That all came true. He is a chief with no tribe. And then he told him his wise man was going to leave him. He has no wise man.
It's okay because he has a certain individual
Hey,
that is.
all I'm saying is Roman couldn't come down and celebrate with his cousin.
I don't think he needed to. I think Roman.
I'm just saying,
We'll
he
talk
a
about
punk.
that. We're
He
going
a
to talk
punk.
about that when the main event.
Fucking Jay did what Roman couldn't. He brought a title back to the bloodline.
Shit.
Tell me I'm wrong.
We're going to say, okay, I am not a Roman fan. Fuck Roman Reigns. 100%. Here's the deal. I'm going to give Roman credit and props here and say that at least Roman had a belt for fucking 1,400 days. That's something to say, right?
Sure.
Jimmy's going to have that shit for a month, 2 months. Not Jimmy, sorry. Jay's going to have it a month or 2 months. And
yeah, you can't even remember which one he is. That's how amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's face it, Jay's 5-minute yeet session is still 5 more minutes than Roman ever cared to fucking show up in the first week of his title reign. Jay will have more screen time at the end of the month than Roman had for his entire run.
Shit, with the amount of time it took Roman to make the entrance has probably,
Yeah.
equaled the amount
Justice
of
for the yeet sessions if you can sit through a Roman Reigns fucking entrance.
Yeah, well. Here's the other thing is I'm so glad that we're going to SmackDown and we don't have to yeet.
I hope he shows up. I hope he shows up.
I will not yeet. I will be unyeet.
Oh my God. You're so fucking lucky. Roach, if fucking Jay shows up, get the video evidence because he will fucking yeet. He is the ficklest fucking fan, and he will guarantee join that crowd. He was yeeting when we all went.
That was in January, motherfucker.
January.
Here's the problem. No yeet.
I'd expect nothing less from a Drew McIntyre fan. And we got evidence of that. Don't make me post that shit.
Yeah. Well, apparently after that fucking shirt again on Sunday. So never again will I make an entire bet. Don't worry.
I'll piss him off enough to make it happen. Don't worry. I'll buy my time.
The big celebration. So Sami Zayn returns. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. I was fully expecting a heel turn for Sami when he came out.
I wanted it.
We all held our breath. We all held our breath when it showed him behind him. I think you even heard the crowd stop eating and start to gasp a little bit. We were all there with everyone else on it. So,
and that may be what they're going to. I mean, that's what did I send you, JT? I said, man, Sami might finally get the big one, straight up.
Man, y'all have no idea how much I think one of my things I've said to Brady and a couple other friends, I'm like, one of the hardest truths that I've had to admit is I love Sami. I'm just the biggest fan of his. I hate to say it, but I don't think he's ever going to win the world title. And it hurts my heart to say that, but I think it's probably true. But now, just maybe.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes, I would love to see it. I'm not holding my breath still, to be honest, but I would love to see it.
Well, so I think
Sami Zayn's awesome.
I think that comes back to some of how they're starting to tell stories again. I think we have almost every champion deserves to be strong. right? Like with Roman, there was that when he first started. It's like,
hang on. Dad, we can cut this out, but your TV's really loud.
not me.
I didn't say you. I said
Oh,
Dad.
oh.
Okay. It. So I was hearing whatever was playing on the background. Thank you. Okay.
But so my thing is when Roman took the title, we all sat and watched. And like, okay, he could lose it, and then we transitioned from wanting to see Roman beat to like, oh shit, he's got this thing now. I really want to see him beat. You know, we had Cody finishing the story, and that title meant something. But and then before that, we had Brock Lesnar, right? So there was this like, who are these undefeatable behemoths? But now I think the storyline for Jay in the World Heavyweight Championship, much like we thought it was going to be when Rollins first won it, is there's a chance he could be beaten.
Right.
He's
And
the
that's
underdog champ. Rollins wasn't necessarily an underdog, but both of
Yeah.
you haters sitting over there want to see him carry the title for 2 months.
right, but that's what that title, in my opinion, and that's what I said to both of you whenever the title first got introduced, is I thought that's what that title was going to be. I thought it was going to be a situation to elevate that star, but for a limited amount of time, not for something for someone to carry for a year and a half. So, but
Well,
we'll see.
that's the thing though, is we've seen Jay chasing. Now we need to give him an honest shot at holding.
Yeah.
Now, again, to your point, if he drops it in a month or two, I think everyone could stomach the rematch. Now, again, win or lose, now to me, that's going to open the avenue. Okay, well, now that he's won it back, let's go ahead and take it right back off of him with Gunther finally coming back, with, the Rollins faction that we're going to discuss here in a minute. Breaker, someone.
Yeah.
I think that's why. But Sami Zayn, like, why not? Why not let some of these more? And this is not trying to degrade them. Average wrestlers, not these impossible monsters or these conniving evil tribal chiefs, hold it.
Whoop.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, because I always used to say like there's something to be said for establishing a belt. I mean, I think it's what they want to do with Seth. It was a good 9-10 months or whatever, right?
Mhm.
It was a while, so I get they wanted to establish it. That makes sense. But at the same time, you guys are some Attitude Era fans, and you never knew when that shit was going to change hands, what
Yeah.
was going to happen. So right now, it doesn't feel like a title shot on Raw or SmackDown is actually going to really, or even Saturday Night's main event. It just like I kind of want us to be like, hey, they can change titles on something other than the big
Yeah.
4 pay-per-views, right? You do know what's allowed technically. So
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Not that I think like, oh, Jay doesn't deserve to establish it. If he's doing good and he's going strong, go with it. But I do miss the unpredictability, So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing when we saw Rhea and Io and Bianca, and Io
yeah,
fucking won the belt. Like, dude, all of
That
us were
still
like,
makes
"What the
no
fuck?"
sense to me.
No, but
Io's awesome. It makes great sense.
that was the unpredictability that I think all of us are seeking. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to just have to wait for a big 4 for something like that to happen. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so you need to keep the program, relevant, fresh, something, And hell, if they're gonna go with Sammy versus Jay, because we don't know the direction yet, I'm sure we'll start kind of finding out next week. If they're gonna go that direction, dude, I wouldn't mind seeing Sammy win it on a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It would just be something cool to witness. And
As long as they do it in the United States, because your ass ain't staying up till 3:00 to watch a show.
oh god, dude. No. And then I'll be waking up at 6 in the morning looking at the Twitter machine, seeing what's up. But that's the thing, though. Is, I've been while I'm sitting up here working, I've been watching like all the Raw Vault. Man, that WWF Championship changed hands. It seemed like every third week somebody else had it. So I mean, I don't want it to be that
Well,
extreme.
I mean,
But
yeah, sure. But to that point too, right? It like Roach said, that was Attitude Era. That was a different time, right? Like what? Again, here we go. they're going to come for me in the fucking comments, and then I'm going to wake up with death threats. AEW is still not a threat to WWE. I don't give a fuck what any of them say.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But the thing is WCW was, and that's where that unpredictability came from.
It was.
At the end of the day, friendly, and I use that friendly competition makes things better, and that's what they're trying to recreate with the brand split, and that's what they're attempting to do with partnering with TNA and AAA, and it's like, then Joe Hendry shows up and gets beat by Randy.
Did y'all see, not to rabbit hole, but did you see that our Alberto Del Rio was released from AAA today?
Was that actually true or not? Like, I don't know that. Is that true or not? I saw someone say that wasn't true.
I saw that on several sources. So
I'm gonna laugh my ass off when he gets rehired by WWE.
I don't know that he's gonna, honestly. There's
Brady,
a lot there.
Your boy Phil is back. I'm never gonna say never.
Your boy Phil didn't commit sexual bullshit, so that's the difference.
Fuck Alberto Del Rio. Fuck
Careful,
Alberto Del
Vince.
Rio.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a big difference between, running your mouth and saying bad shit on the internet than, actually committing sexual assault. So anything that's said and done can always, you can always apologize for that, but that kind of action is you can never.
I hope it's true, but I mean, again, whatever with that. Move on, So,
so after the J thing, remind me, was it the main event? Was it time for the main event?
Oh, Dirty Dom and Penta.
Yeah. So okay.
That was that. Well, that was after the Gunther attack.
Well, so let's talk about that. These motherfuckers. So again, when I go, so if I hit my gym at the regular time, the Pat McAfee show's on, so I can't hear it, but I can see it. So naturally, me and my boy are in there on doing our thing, and Tuesdays are back and buy day. So I'm in there cranking it out, wishing I was as big as Brock Lesnar, as big as Braun Breaker, and I'm not. But I see Pat McAfee talking about, and it says Gunther's unprovoked attack. Hold up. Wait a minute. First of all, unprovoked is a strong term, considering that you have fucking Pat McAfee. He tapped out. Gunther lost. And not only that, now he did pick on poor defenseless, although undefeated at WrestleMania, Michael Cole. When Pat got involved, he put hands on it. That's where he enters his entertainer contract. It was a good beatdown, and I think this is going to be interesting. And
where does it lead?
Yeah, that's my thing. Where does it lead? Because if they try to even pretend Pat can actually, I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess if it's a one-off, whatever. I don't know.
Well, so that's the thing, though, is they played it right. Follow me for a second. So Pat McAfee has a show that is put out and is broadcast around the globe and has fans from every walk of sports life watching it. Not only did they do this at Raw, but they had all of Pat McAfee's goons there, all the stooges, and they were holding them back. They gave Michael Cole the ability to look like this fucking awesome hero and go back and do his job for the fans. I'm not going to be bullied, throwing the anti-bullying campaign in there. So I wholeheartedly see at the next PLE or down the road, this feud continue to grow. And next thing you know, Gunther is in a ring getting jumped by all of McAfee's goons when Gunther challenges Pat McAfee. It's going to be, are they scheduled to go to Indy or anywhere like that, a big sports city, anywhere sometime soon? Because then you're going to have everybody's eyes on this match is going to get announced 2 weeks in advance. Pat's going to show videos of himself training on his fucking show, and he's going to get the whole sports world captured.
Yeah. I mean, it seems unnecessary, but it's you can't, that's good attention, good press, So I see what you're saying now. I was kind of like writing it off, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And again, it's Because again, no one's expecting Pat McAfee and Gunther to square off and Pat come out on top. Am I expecting his goons to show up and pull a fucking Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn match? Hell yeah. And they're going to come down there dressed like fucking Macho Man doing elbows and shit, drinking real American beer, brother. Hi, I'm Terry Bollea. Like, don't know if you saw that. But yeah. So
yeah, maybe it's a way. I heard someone say maybe it's a way to write him off for a minute. You know, he's always got stuff going on,
Yeah.
so maybe he wants a break, or maybe he's got other stuff going on. But
sure.
I wouldn't hate if it leads to something like you're saying. Now that you put it that way, yeah, it'll get a lot of attention. And hey, Gunther, I think deserves attention. He's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is Gunther has always been that raw, beat you down type of guy. And I'm not saying Gunther got soft, but he got put on that pedestal and he wasn't showing up every week. He wasn't in the ring every week. And I want more Gunther. So put him back to where he used to be. Start him in a squash match against some local yokel and have him pick through everyone back to the top.
Oh, yeah.
I think if they want to keep showing him, I mean, he needs to show that he can do different things. You know, his run as the world champ was very, very different, and not in a bad way. I think you have to be a little bit different than he was as the IC champ. So I think this is a chance if he can make this entertaining and make it look good and get some real heat. That shows that he's there for business in the future. You know, so.
Where was Ludwig to help him keep that title? There's a story right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few that doesn't need it. Doesn't need help usually.
It's not that he needs it, but he's still billed as part of Imperium. They still share the same music. And we saw this feud come in for a long time when Gunther was punishing Ludwig because of Giovanni. Now Giovanni's gone. So let those two feud, flip Ludwig, or do whatever with them. And then Gunther's finally going to get this beat down on Ludwig, and then comes Pat and his goons.
Wouldn't hate it.
Booking that territory, baby. Write me a check, Paul. Write me a fucking check.
I guess we'll see, next Monday, kind of where this leads. I mean, it may not lead anywhere for the next few weeks. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
But then possibly out of the three matches, the match of the night, old dirty dude white Dom versus Penta.
I think it was a good match. It was fun. Yeah.
It felt rushed, but I think I have a feeling that the Gunther thing probably went longer than or maybe a couple of others. I don't know. Because to be honest, I was behind at the time, but I was kind of thinking are they about to cut off? Are they going to have much time? So it felt a bit rushed. But I mean, hey, JD's back. JD's back, y'all.
JD's back. Yeah. I thought he was going to be on for months, 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah. Ooh, that was rough, man. That landing was rough, dude.
Yeah, I thought he had some punctured lung and a concussion and all kinds of shit. So
yeah, he got too long.
Glad he's okay, man.
Yeah, that's and I still feel like that's part of the reason they changed.
Character's a shithead, but glad he's okay.
Yeah,
for real.
So again, and I talked about it, and y'all did remind me that he existed. It's like, so the Judgment Day still got a little strength, and the thing was, when you watch Finn Balor's reaction, somehow Finn's okay with what happened. And then it's like JD comes back and Finn's like,
Finn's not okay. You can tell, whenever they were walking back on the ramp.
After, Finn was separate.
Yeah, and also he had his eye on that IC title the whole time. It wasn't him, congratulating Dom. It wasn't any of that. He was doing his own thing, and he was like, yeah. And if you watch that segment that they had backstage, Liv actually had to, get into the middle of them and say, hey, it's on our team. The IC title's with us. It doesn't matter who's the champion. It's with us.
You said it, like Finn said it. She pointed that out. So we kind of was like, yeah. But we all know.
Well, yeah. So, but that's, so again, I'm glad that door's still kind of open. I do think Judgment Day has run its course. I agree with that. Dom and Liv are just going to be menaces, and I respect that, but I feel bad for Carlito. The dude came back and hasn't done anything. He's got turned into a goon.
But
JD,
that may be what he had wanted to begin
maybe.
with. I mean,
sure.
He's getting paid every week, so I
Yeah.
mean, maybe he's okay with it, you know.
And JD, I don't know that he would be okay on his own. So he's gonna have to, he's gonna have to
They
have that
tried. They
passion.
tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah. So I think that Judgment Day, it still has some like you said, some gas in it. And I just think that they need to get Finn Balor separated. And then once Balor is separated from it, just let them do their thing. And then maybe we get the feud that we've all been fucking yearning for, or at least me. I want to see Demon Balor come and just whoop the ever loving shit out of Dom. That's what I want.
I
So,
respectfully disagree. I don't think we need Demon Balor to beat Dominic Mysterio.
I do, because there's so much. You can't just have a basic regular match with anybody within the Judgment
Now,
Day, even
if
it's against Finn Balor.
you're telling me they make a scenario where the Demon is picking off the Judgment Day one by one, I'll buy that for a nickel, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that the Demon does need to be kept in reserve, especially how they screwed that character, man.
Well, we can forget about that and move forward and
I mean, yeah, I think
let them
Finn
resurrect
Balor
Wrestlemania.
needs help to beat the Judgment Day one way or another. If and probably when it goes to that route, you know. So
But I
yeah,
don't. Yeah, it all he needs is the Demon. He doesn't need somebody else. It's just that character needs to come out and just take care of business and move the fuck on. So
I like JT's thing about picking them off. Like we see some backstage segments or see him get laid out, or I like that idea. So,
Well, so that's the thing,
I think
right?
they should. I don't think they should rush it. It shouldn't be like, oh, Finn leaves, and then the next week we see like they need to.
well, are you thinking?
Let Finn try to take him on his own and most likely fail because of the numbers game.
Are you thinking of the Demon as a separate entity at this point? Okay.
Yes.
So
And that's
Technically,
what I'm
that's kind of
saying,
how he's
right?
always
Like,
sort of presented it.
fucking Carlito gets taken out backstage and has like red paint on his face. They're like, what the hell is this? And even Finn's like, and then, it's one of those weird Undertaker-esque moments. The lights go out and everyone gets covered in red and black or something. And Finn's like, I was here with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that would
There's
work.
some fun to be had. Yeah, there's some fun to be had there. Slowly but surely. Again, just it doesn't need to be Finn breaks free and then immediately busts out the Demon the next week.
Yeah.
Like build it up.
It needs to happen, because I'm going to take a break before we hit the final segment. It needs to happen and conclude in November at Survivor Series. Because it was announced that Survivor Series will be coming to us live from Petco Park in San Diego.
And I know somebody who's going to
wait. Where are you moving? Where are you moving?
About an hour north of there.
I'd say 43 minutes. So there's a very, very big possibility. I mean,
have you been to Survivor Series, JT?
No.
I got one under my belt from 2003.
And that was I'm not going to say the best, but such a cool Survivor Series to have attended, because it was in Dallas and you got the buried alive
the thing
match.
that stands out, the thing that's going to always stand out from that to me, those kind of matches are not as fun as a live member of the audience because you can't see half of it.
Yeah.
HBK's performance 4 against 1. No, I will never forget that for as long as I live. Like that was just that was amazing. That was prime HBK underdog. He's better than anyone at that. It was amazing. It was great.
And in a way, to me, that like when you look back over Sean's career, to me, that is now prime HBK to me. Like everyone wants to talk about the Attitude Era and DX run, but Sean, like match quality, body of work, again, the ladder match with Razor, the Montreal Screwjob match itself with Brett was great. But when you look at what happened from when he got his mind right and came back all the way through his retirement, those were crisp. If there's one wrestler who did their career correctly, it was Shawn Michaels, because he got the best when he needed it. That's a whole nother episode in rabbit hole. Keeping it on slight. No War Games advertisement for Survivor Series right now.
Thank God. It is time to go back to
I agree.
a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5. Let's figure out some stakes. Let's make it happen.
Sure.
That's what we need. And I will go back and say Survivor Series is the only big four that I need to complete to
Yeah, I just
complete
need
the
SummerSlam after this.
so
I need SummerSlam also. That's my one. But man, these 2-night big shows are going to make it hard for me to. That's
it's
a
gonna have
big
to
financial
they're gonna have to
thing.
do it locally, Dallas, something like that, for us to be able to, for me anyway,
Anytime soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, going out of the state to watch a show like that, man, it takes commitment, a level of commitment, takes money, and it's just
So
God.
Brady's going to be calling you up for some free rent. Basically is
Bro,
what
Oh
he's
that's
no,
saying,
guaranteed.
yeah,
JT.
I'll be flying into JT's house. He's like, "That's Thanksgiving." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving."
Yeah, like motherfucker,
No,
I'm separated from my family anyway. It's me, the wife, and the dogs. Like, I
I'll be
wasn't saying it's Thanksgiving weekend negatively. I was just letting the motherfucker know that we're already off work.
Yeah, and so I'm off Thanksgiving, and I'm also going to be. That's Thursday. I have to work on Friday, but that's perfectly okay because I'm going to end up getting a flight out to San Diego or wherever the fuck the nearest airport is to
Yeah.
JT Friday night, and then we're going to get up and drive an hour to San Diego and go to watch some Survivor Series.
But that's the thing, right? Like, you could literally get out of work, catch a 8 in the evening flight, and then be in California at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, straight up. So I'm stoked for that, and then that will complete the main four for me, and yeah, I'll be good. And I'm thinking that this actually might be one of the last years that they do a single night Survivor Series. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're going to continue
Uh,
doing the big four 2 nights, like we've talked about this on the podcast before, man. I could see where they're going to do a 2 night Royal Rumble probably in the next year if
So
they've already said
that
Saudi
that's
Arabia.
that's when, not if. So we'll see what happens. But
I'm going to
yeah,
go back to what I said about WrestleMania. And I think SummerSlam will run into the problem and they'll go back to a one night SummerSlam before they do Mania. They're going to go from we need 2 nights to now we have to fill 2 nights.
Well, the
So,
problem with that is they've already booked WrestleMania for next year for 2 nights and SummerSlam next year for two
so
nights.
again, I I firmly believe that Mania it will forever be 2 nights. I don't think unless something crazy happens, but I see SummerSlam not performing or living that hype. Because again, you can make the hype around Mania. WrestleMania is a week long experience now. Raw, pre Raw, pre NXT, pre SmackDown, 2 nights, post Raw, post NXT, NXT PLE, and then but the other four or the other three, excuse me, don't really get that treatment. They kind of do, but I don't. I don't
They get
think
the
that you're going to get that.
Superstore. They
I
get
mean,
the
yeah, they get
Superstore. They get the meet and greets, but they don't
and
have.
they can always kind of rein in. I mean, rumors were that the ticket prices this year definitely didn't move as fast, because they were just all over they were so high. They can always rein that in a little bit. And, I think there's people that if they can afford the tickets for the seats, they're going to go
sure.
out there and make a vacation of
Well,
it.
yeah.
There's
I
always
mean,
going to be people there.
there's
So
125,000 attendees. Now, sure, some of those are double ups, right? They were there for both
a
nights.
lot of them probably, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I mean,
again,
that's
the number speaks for itself. 61,000 night one, 63,000 night two.
how
Uh,
were both sellouts if one had 2,000 more seats?
It's just a matter of how.
That don't matter. That's just one of those. They're going to say what they say things. So
It's just a matter of how they have that stadium set for the night. But the other thing is like what's the seating capacity in the Padres Stadium? Didn't you say like 50 or sixty
so
thousand?
for regular baseball, it's like 44,000.
So
But
technically, with the field,
I
they
think
can
I think Garth Brooks was the concert. It didn't say, but because I'm lazy and I can only stand like the first 3 Google searches. Uh, there was a concert that holds the attendance record at 79,000.
So there's no shot.
60,000 is probably the goal mark if I had to guess.
Yeah, those would say there's no shot they're putting 75,000 people there for that. But I bet they do 50, 60.
Hey, if it
So
gets pretty strong, then that 2 nights looking a lot more likely for the next year. It may be a test. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but like I said,
I gotta be honest.
so the thing is, and someone else mentioned this is a departure because they're going again. It's at a stadium. It's outdoors.
yeah.
That late in the year, bold strategy, Cotton. But they're in California, right?
Well, I mean,
those
rain-
motherfuckers are gonna. So here's what's gonna happen: people are gonna flock from all over the world, and they're gonna show up with t-shirts and shorts, and then they're gonna have $85 hoodies for sale and make bank.
yeah. Chris, what were you gonna say?
I've been itching to talk about this main event segment, and we're dragging away from it.
Oh man!
Yeah.
All right.
So main event.
Let me get the water for this one. Fire it off.
Okay, main event. We start out with Seth Rollins walking out to the ring, with Paul Heyman. Then they start their rambling.
Heyman had a different. I kind of love the small things. Heyman had a yellow tie matching, different look. He's always had a red tie with Roman.
Yeah,
it's a little things. I think not a huge deal. Although I saw a freaking. I wish I could find that. I wish I had recorded the meme of what Paul Heyman's going to come out the more he's with Seth, and it was like Paul Heyman with a huge ass boobs.
Oh, bro, we all saw that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's hilarious. Yeah. Obviously, I doubt he's going to go that far with it, but again, little things. He's got himself a little bit of a different look. I like the little stuff like that. There wasn't much said, but there didn't need to be.
No.
And the action that followed spoke words, So
I got words for it.
Go ahead. Let's hear it, JT. Let's get it out of the way. I know
it's not going to be any news to y'all because Punk. So Seth goes to talk, and selfish ass Phil Brooks wants to come out and try and be part of the game plan again.
God damn,
right?
Bro.
So he comes down, and what does he do? He gets his ass whooped, probably tears a fucking tricep. Then once that's done and over with, here comes the tribal queef, can't stand not being the center of attention. He knows he's fucked on SmackDown because there's a bigger fish to fry, and he's scared to go over there and handle somebody like John Cena because he ain't even close to being a professional wrestler. He probably the only motherfucker that can't wrestle as much as John Cena. So then the full-timers had to take care of business. So here comes Rollins, and then Roman Reigns thinks he's King Ding-a-ling at a spear. Oh, Goldberg V3 looking ass. And my man's Braun Breaker from, you know what? Hold on. Let me get a quick hat change.
I think you're getting ahead of it.
From the great state of Georgia,
let me recap.
Has to come in there and whoop the fucking big dog's ass.
Oh.
Hey, and let me, Brady. I'm gonna give you a proper recap of this. So, okay, from my perspective, this is what happened. Punk comes out there, needs to be the center of attention. Selfish Phil. He goes out there, gets his ass whooped. That's a fact. Roman goes out there, whips Seth's ass, and then Seth, is scared and can't handle Roman on its own, so he has to call in backup. And yeah, the Braun Spear was fantastic. That we didn't see this coming. That was great. But yeah, like I said, Roman took care of business, but then he had to get 2-on-1 for them to take care of him. But yeah, Punk was a bitch and got stomped down. So Brady, what's your interpretation of how that went?
You know what? Fuck all three of y'all. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man. Okay.
So,
but no, okay, but did y'all see the Braun thing coming?
Wrist tape put up more of a fight than he did.
His wrist tape?
He shouldn't even rip that shit off on the first try. His wrist tape's stronger than he is.
Yeah. You know what? This podcast is over. We're canceling. We're done.
No. All right. Braun Breaker coming out there. How fucking cool was that, dude? And I mean, I didn't see it coming. That was yet another Brady. Hold on.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Bro. And me just, what are you talking about? I thought that Roman showing up was the hold on he was telling me for. And no, I didn't see it coming. And that was fucking awesome.
Whenever he showed up in his hoodie, dude, I sat at the edge of the couch and I was like, Nicole, who the fuck is that? Because I never in a million years, if we would have been talking about this, or like JT says, booking the territory 3 months ago, never would I have thought Braun Breaker, dude, never. So But what
But
that
it
does,
instantly fits. I mean, y'all were booking the territory with him in the IC and all this.
yeah,
Booking the territory to maybe he's going to take it from Jay and go out to that. Personally, this is to me, this is exactly where he needs to be. You couldn't have made it better. I'm sorry, he's not ready to be a world champ yet. He can perform to that level and look legitimate, but he's not ready.
they can do the same situation like they did with Evolution, man. They can
That's
build
the obvious things, and the parallels are all there. And
yeah,
I mean, if eventually he says "F you, Seth," and that's when he breaks into his own, a la Batista, it's all there, and it's going to be whenever it does happen. I think it's going to be great. The obvious question is, okay, where else are they going with this? And that's where I mentioned a little something earlier.
We all
there's
thinking
a
it.
couple different possibilities.
We all thinking it.
Okay, so are there more people coming? Just
absolutely. You know there is.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But who's the one we're all thinking of?
Dude,
Okay.
Are we gonna get a Paul Heyman girl?
Fuck yeah, we're gonna get a Paul Heyman girl.
Yeah, okay.
I want to see it, and I want it to be the name that we weren't supposed to ask. I want it to be Big Time Vex, though.
100%.
Big Time Vex in there.
Yep.
Y'all mentioned the IC, and that's why I said, hey, why does it have to be the IC? Maybe she just is like, I whipped your ass, Lyra. I'm moving on from you. And EO. They'll put on some banger matches, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I hope Becky Lynch gets in there.
Could you imagine Seth with the world heavyweight, Becky with the women's world champion under Paul Heyman's belt? Dude, that would be like the powerhouse. Like, this would be bigger than the bloodline, in my opinion. It really would. And then
it's not Roman, so it won't be. But okay,
Yeah, okay.
But besides that, okay, and this is where I think this is what most people are already saying. Becky, right? That seems pretty obvious, and hopefully it happens. Who else? There's a lot of people that are everyone's throwing guesses out there. Who else?
Well, so again, in the vein of Evolution and the bloodline, they need to bring another young gun in, and because Braun's not a young gun, but like he's in that perfect spot because this Braun's going to elevate the group as much as the group's going to elevate Braun.
And he's going to mix it up with these top guys, with Roman, with Punk. I mean, he's going to perfect, exactly where he needs to be. So who else we got?
I mean, I don't know that we would need a NXT call up. Maybe I don't know. Like, just trying to like look. By the way, the notebook's dead. Just like trying to look back through some notes here, just flipping back. Who could?
Chris, I mean, honestly, who do you think? Like, who's on your mind?
So my first thought that I would love to see is Carmelo Hayes. I mean, he's on SmackDown. He's doing other stuff. I don't know if that's the play, but I'm a huge fan of his. I think I would love to see it. I think either a Austin Theory, which
no,
I saw someone suggest that.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I wouldn't necessarily hate it because it's better than him being on his own and Vince trying to shove him down our throats like it was 2 years ago. Him being with other people and getting a chance to grow that way, that feels more organic than Vince, again, having Theory just go out there, pin Finn, pin Seth, pin Bobby Lashley, and none of us believed he looked like he could do it. So I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't. I'd rather see Mello or even like an NXT call up like Ethan Page. The guy's he's ready to work with those main people. And not a lot of people know him yet, but I mean, he would establish himself pretty quickly if he did it. So I don't know, who else do y'all think?
Are we going to talk about if there's any other women that are going to join, or is Bex going to be the only?
I could tell you what would piss everyone off right quick in a hurry, and he's on the Raw roster.
Who's that?
Logan Paul.
Oh God!
No,
I saw someone. I don't know if this was someone just making shit up or if it was an actual like rumor from a source, but I saw someone about him being Jay's first opponent.
I saw that, and as soon as you said that to me, I'm like, get fucked.
I will go out in my driveway and dig a hole with my face.
Brady will Okay, I've got it on record. Brady will cancel Netflix if Logan Paul gets the belt. He said,
Benito.
He won't, y'all. But still,
shut up. You don't know me.
I do know
shut up. You don't know me.
So who else are you thinking, Brady? Like, I mean, whether it's another girl, I wouldn't hate 2 girls. So who else are you thinking?
Mean, dude, I wouldn't even mind somebody like fucking Roxanne joining up and I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Put them underneath Heyman, and then let them grow. And do again sort of an evolution type situation, man. We need
Get like 5 people instead of.
yeah,
I mean, because Heyman's not going to be wrestling like Flair was for him. So
yeah,
get 3 or 4 more people. I say get 4 or 5 people, actual wrestlers, and Heyman overseeing all of them.
yeah.
I love that idea.
Here's the thing, though. It's like we know Seth is good. We know Seth's going to be around.
Mhm.
That's the truth. Um, I think my only worry is I don't want them to build all this up and then Bex just leave again. Because she just fucking bailed and was gone for a year. So if she's going to be there, man, like be there. But I also understand. I get what she was saying during her pre-show. Her kid's about to be in school, so they're gonna have to get routines and all that shit going.
Yeah.
So I really hope if they do that they're able to carry it, hopefully until WrestleMania of next year. That's really where it needs to, come to the head.
Well, so I
And
mean,
okay, and then you can finally have your OTC go against Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then you can put your stupid fucking plates on your belt. Would that make you feel good?
would that make you
Oh, he's
feel
already
good?
got it ready to fucking
It's already
roll.
ready.
God
It's already
damn,
ready.
bro.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
already
That
ready.
shit looks like gross.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a ton of excitement around it. I can't wait to see where this grows.
I want to know. So where does at this point Roman got his ass whooped, Punk got his ass whooped. That's just the truth. Where does that lead them? So do you think? And I'll be the first to say it. Punk got his main event. Win, lose, draw, doesn't fucking matter. He got the main event. That's what he was here for. He's good to go. Do you think, honestly, he has any other, like what else can he do other than if he's going to go and do or go for a championship? I mean, he can't go for the world heavyweight. I mean, maybe, but where else does he go at this point?
I saw a backlash again. I don't know if this is fan made or something that someone actually saw, but I saw Roman and Punk versus Seth and Braun. Which, if that's the case, I think it's pretty obvious we'll find a third member then, and they'll probably go over.
Well,
I'll go ahead and say it. Roman will probably take some damn time off. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
He's the tribal chief. He's
why?
everything, y'all.
He's not had enough time off over the past fucking 2,000 days.
What's the same? It's the
He's
same.
got a really big paycheck that he gets. He needs to take time off to spend all that money he makes.
Well,
y'all.
so as far as where Roman's going and where Punk is going, and we've talked about it multiple times, I think both of them have a legitimate reasoning to square up against John Cena. Now,
well, I think
again,
Cena
the problem
and Punk
is
have that thing.
we have the
Punk's
limited
more likely there.
we
Yeah,
have the
Punk's more
limited
likely there.
engagements with Cena for his appearances. But I see a world where Punk and Reigns will do their own thing, and then both of them have a valid excuse or reason to go against just John Cena. And let's not pretend that, again, we're crossing brands again. But if Randy's taking on Cena, then Randy's enough star to do something with Roman or Punk on his own again too. And who doesn't want to see that run back?
Well, Punk said on Raw before WrestleMania, he's like, after calling The Rock a bald fraud, he said that he's got, Cena, he's going to deal with Cena later. So maybe that might be where Punk goes.
Yeah.
But
he's a big enough star to cross. I mean, he's officially Raw technically, but he's a big enough star. He can just go over there because he's Punk. Roman technically is a SmackDown star. We'll see how that goes, but
and again, Jesus Christ, I think we're gonna have to make a whole segment just called "Booking the Territory."
Yeah.
But we heard The Rock say what he said about showing up at Elimination Chamber. We also know last year they completely changed the Mania plans because of the reception and how things were going. You fucking snooping in on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if we get the final boss.
Fuck that.
Hold on, wait.
I'm over it. Okay, go ahead.
And this is just strictly because I'm a selfish prick and I'm going to be at Survivor Series calling my shot. What are we going to do when we find out that the final boss is behind John Cena, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Becky Lynch, all these other people, and we're going to have Team Final Boss against Team Paul Levesque trying to take control back of the WWE.
I like it. We'll see. Man,
there's your state. There's your teams. There's your causes.
Well, I was thinking either that or even if you, selfishly, Paul Heyman's new group versus a Bloodline reunion. I know they did that last year though, so I don't know if they'd want to go to that well again. But selfishly, I'd like that. Admittedly, I just love seeing Sammy interact with all of them again. It's so much fun.
Not me over here hoping. Not me hoping for John Ambrose or Dean Moxley still to come back.
Well, that's a whole different level of. He's probably getting paid a lot in AEW, so let's be honest. But I kind of thought of this just a couple minutes ago when you were like booking the territory. So I was like, with the Roman thing, at least Paul Heyman was Roman's wise man, counsel, all that. Paul Heyman probably had some input in Roman's contract, and he could probably mess around with Roman and string that along quite a bit. And let's be honest, it's probably an excuse to get him off TV. I know it. We all know it. I know it too. But that's something that can stretch out for a while. So we'll see how that goes. But I like what you're saying about Paul Levesque, Triple H team against Final Boss team. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, and again, right? Like, I think if DJ holds through to what he says, right? I think there is enough negative reaction coming out of Mania that they're not going to try and pull that stunt again. But again, they did a phenomenal job making us forget about it Monday. If they come out hot on SmackDown, that's a wash. But if there's enough of us as a voice that say, you screwed us, bro, he will come back and do something.
We don't need The Rock, dude. Regardless of that, we don't need him. Like I will live and die on that hill. And I said it 6 months ago, and I'll say it again. We do not need The Rock. His time is fucking come and gone, man. If he wants to be on the board of directors, that's fine, but stay the fuck out of the ring. Let these dudes do what they're gonna do. I think
put this one on the calendar, Roach, because I have text message proof about how excited somebody was when he showed up.
When he showed up, when? What time?
I don't know, when you were there.
That was WrestleMania last year. I said 6 months ago, brother.
Hey, I like the idea of Team Final Boss. Now, at this point, I want to start trying to look at it, imagine it, book it. Not with him getting in the ring. Let him. Sure. If he wants to be the board guy and he's overseeing, he can do those. He can do that shit with on-screen promos all day long.
He doesn't have to get in the ring. He doesn't have to get in there.
Like Brady said, I'm not going to be that upset if he doesn't. I'm cool with what Brady says. We don't need him. It always is going to be interesting, and I doubt that he doesn't want to come back occasionally, but we don't need him either. I agree that we don't need him, but
to all of y'all's point though, the problem is when you keep taking the same big names and wanting to put them in big situations, it's got to have a pay. There has to be something more. And that goes back to what I was saying about Jey Uso. Jey Uso is going to make the fight for that title believable again. When John Cena drops it, because he's retiring, whether he drops that or a new belt, they got to be careful not to back themselves back into a Roman position. As much as you loved it, we do not need another 1,300-day champion.
We'll never see. Well, I say never. That something like that's not coming. I think Roman will get the belt at some point. I don't think it's going to be a year plus or anything crazy like that. Yeah. I mean,
and we'll see. So. And I'm not throwing the Rock in there because he's the end all be all. I'm throwing it in there as a way to tie stories up with a bow, put it under the tree, let it get opened, and then once it's opened, throw the fucking toy away and let the kids play with the box.
Yeah. But man, this was, I saw another thing when someone was talking about, this episode, and they're like, after the disappointment of Mania, and, and the way that he's like, the way I'm looking at this is, and it's kind of probably pretty much true every year, WrestleMania is like the season finale of their year, and this Raw After Mania was a season premiere. And it was a hell of a season premiere if you look at it that way.
Right.
So it's got a lot of new stuff going. I think it fully got us invested again. We were all episode 2 was I went back and watched our little podcast from night 1. We were all a little bit drunk, so we were a little more rowdy. 2, it was a bit of a downer though. It was a bit of a downer. We were all just kind of Brady came out hot, pissed off as hell, and the rest of it was just kind of a downer. So, but man, Raw was fucking great, and I can't wait to see what happens, and I can't wait for SmackDown. So.
I'm not going in with any expectations on Friday. I'm really not. I think that we're going to go in and take what
I just
we
hope
get.
the TLC is good. I hope the TLC is amazing good.
As long as
I have no doubt it will be. Yeah, I hope it gets 20-plus minutes.
Here's the thing. A theory, and it is probably wrong because I'm wrong about most things. There has been some chit chat of the Hardy Boys returning to WWE, and could you imagine if this is a triple threat? If they made it a fatal 4-way, kind of like they did at WrestleMania, and the Hardy Boys came out. And
I'd pop like crazy. Too. We all will.
Yeah.
I'm
So
going to be there. I hate both of them.
Hey, I mean, there's no telling what's going to happen. Are we going to see the Wyatt Six? Are we going to see Alexa? I know you want to see Alexa. I do too. So
I'm about to ban her from this podcast like we did Becky.
We don't even talk about Alexa. What are you talking about? Last time we talked about Alexa was like 3 podcasts ago.
She had been around, so.
Hey, at the end of the day, best Raw that we've seen in a very, very long time. I have not, like I said,
Raw After Mania is a thing again, finally. It has been years since it was a real, actual thing.
Yes. And they need to continue
we went
that.
to the one after 38, and that was so disappointing.
That was the worst Raw. I think I would rather take just a middle-of-the-year random-ass Monday Night Raw in Dallas than that one. Come on.
Well, so that's the thing is, obviously, the Raw debut on Netflix was big, but the first 3 or 4 Raws after that were hot. We can't
it kind of
continue.
Settled in, yeah.
We can't continue to have banger Raws, but if they keep and I don't want to say the same formula because I think this was. I don't know how much plans changed, but again, coming off a lackluster Mania. I don't know if that just made the Raw mean more, like you were saying, Roach. I want to get to a point that every Raw after every PLE has a meaning. Not as hot, not as debuts, not as many surprises, but when you come out of a big PLE, no one knew that we were going to get a rematch for the Women's Tag Championships and a Becky turn. So I'm not saying always have the automatic rematch.
And I think I like that. I like the not knowing. And I think that would be something that they could learn from going forward. Man, they have the whole Monday Night Raw booked out on WWE.com, and we know what's going to happen just about.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice not to know. Give us 1 or 2 of the matches and say, hey, someone's going to show up. But don't spoil the whole show.
Sure.
Let us watch it and see.
Well,
after a PLE, we should be saying, I can't wait to see what's next. That's where we're at right now. So yeah.
Yep. So
that talks about Monday Night Raw. Again, we're going to be at SmackDown on Friday, live and in living color. Chris, so excited for that.
What do you have your shirt ready, Brady?
It's hanging in the fucking closet. Yes, it's ready to go.
I will get pictures, and they will be on the next podcast. So yeah,
I will have a CM Punk belt wearing across the front. Don't worry. So, JT, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I hope you don't drop that belt. That'd be sad.
It would be very sad. I doubt I bring it. JT, I don't know if since this was an impromptu, but last week I did the off the top rope, and I'm curious, did you come up with one?
You told me you had one written down, you fucking liar.
I used it on Sunday.
God damn it! I hate you.
Let's go with an easy one. I thought about one a while back. Just women's goat. Go with it. Oh. Women's goat.
Women's goat.
Even if you want to name one or two, it doesn't have to be exactly one. I mean, it's subjective, but
I think I know
let's go with a
JT's
couple.
right off the bat.
Go for it, JT. I don't know it, so I want to hear it.
It's irrefutable. It's fucking Moolah.
Okay.
You can say what you fucking want to, but every defense you have for Roman Reigns applies to Moolah. We can ignore her and put her name down because of what she did, but she got the women to where they were at. They became relevant because of her. They had jobs because of her, no matter how dirty. And bottom line, without Moolah, we wouldn't have fucking women wrestlers. They'd still be running around in fucking bikinis getting covered in gravy every Thanksgiving.
That's not where I thought you were going to go, but
I didn't see that coming. So okay, yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm gonna go with Trish, man. Trish is the greatest of all time. Straight up, I think she led the way for what we have today. It's we wouldn't have a Becky Lynch without a Trish Stratus. I don't think we would have had a Bayley without a Trish Stratus. So
I think all of her comebacks, showing that she can still go, she can still mix with these current women. I think that is absolutely something to where you can cement that argument for sure. I was to be honest, I was pretty much counting you to say Bex, and I was gonna say I don't disagree with you at all on that, but I was gonna throw I would have thrown Trish out there as a secondary to that, but I agree with you on Trish overall, but I'm not gonna also say that and perhaps the fact that she maybe isn't sticking around as long. But I would say Bex, performance-wise, she just really and truly has evolved and changed with whatever she needed to, and she, man, she's just so good. She like you're gonna say, you can say, and it's true that Ronda got them to the main event, really, but Bex made people want to see Ronda get beat and all that with her performance up until then, and she's evolved and grown ever since that even. So I'm gonna go Trish or Bex for sure.
You are going when we are doing this podcast when we are 72 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be able to look back on the women's division. Moolah's your Bruno, Trish was your Hogan, Becky was your Austin.
100%.
Now
I'm excited
again,
to see who the Cena and Romans are after that thing coming forward, man. There's a lot of good women coming out.
You're going to have your Charlotte, who's going to be the Ric Flair by default because of her name, but at the end of the day, she's got more title reigns than him. She's going to be your Flair. You're going to have your Ronda, who was your Bill Goldberg. You're going to have...
I love that comparison.
And you're probably going to have somebody like a Bayley. That's a stretch. I'm waiting for this. Let's put it this way. We're about to see within the next 10 years our female Cena.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it. I told y'all last week, there's some just great talent in NXT. There's some great talent in AEW. Toni Storm has done some great things over there. I would have seen it's coming. It's very fucking weird and odd, but man, she makes it work and she is entertaining as hell. There's some great talent out there that absolutely, like you're saying, the next Cena and all that. So, but yeah, it's a lot of good stuff.
The women still don't get a fair shake, and it's not their fault. There's only so many hours in a show. They're just now getting their mid-card titles, but who is the female Undertaker? Where is this phenom? Who's the female Demon Balor? Like, the women don't get a fair shake when it comes to storyline development. But again, they're young, and that's natural. The Undertaker did the first documentation of pro wrestling is like from the 1920s, and it took until 1990 to get the Undertaker. So, until we start seeing that kind of character development and investment, which again, if you watch the documentary and listen to Michelle McCool, that investment didn't happen until 2005. So the women's division has the potential to become its own standalone program if they play it right.
Y'all ready for Evolution 2? It's rumored. Y'all ready for Evolution 2?
I think it'll be fine.
The first one was fun. It was good.
It was.
I liked it. Yeah.
I think now they even put more emphasis on the women, so it'll be a better pay-per-view. I mean, I really do think that it'll be a banger show. But what I was fixing to say was they're really going to have to invest some time and some money. Like, for instance, I love Bex to death, man. I think she's one of the best of all time. I really do. But the problem is when you build a character up that hot and they can do other things like John Cena or like The Rock, they're going to go and do their own thing in Hollywood, or they're going to go and do their own, you're going to have to build somebody up like Randy Orton. That is WWE to the core and has no interest anywhere else. Like that's where you're going to have to find the women.
I can see Rhea being along that lines. I don't
Me
see
too,
her
man.
like just feeling like she has to go out to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And to be frank, with her look, I don't know that she's gonna. That's the look that a lot of people are going for in Hollywood. I think the look is amazing. I love it. But
back to
yeah,
my
but
point.
I'm saying from a Hollywood thing. So I see Rhea as a long term girl.
Yeah.
Right.
There.
She could be the Randy Orton of WWE, really. I mean, and that's in the women's division, and that's what we need for it to continue on, like you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your next Undertaker or your next Randy Orton. You're gonna have to have somebody that's dedicated 100% to wrestling, not somebody who's gonna work for 5 or 10 years and then branch off to something different. Just because money talks. So, but other than that, guys, man, that was a hot Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna get this wrapped up, and then we're gonna reconvene on Saturday at some point, and have us a little get together, and we're gonna talk about what happens at SmackDown, and just hit it off again from there. From there, I'm Brady. This is Phil over here. Kind of hard to see. We've got JT. And we've got Chris, and we've got Papa Gimmicks over there, staying silent. But we are No Gimmicks. He shouted out all of our socials earlier today, so we really don't need to do that again. However, go follow us on them all. We really need it. We would really appreciate it.
Hit like and subscribe.
Hit like and subscribe. We want to get monetized, so JT doesn't have to be poor. He can go to wrestling with his friends.
Shit. I'm poor, bro. I'm poor. So, anyway, this is us, No Gimmicks, signing off.
Catch you down the road.